Tip off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's main event. Dropkick now and powerbomb. Ayo, bro, let's bring this on. Hey, hey, what is up? Oh, captain, my captain, show the stuff. Power slam and suplex too. Hot garbage is just for you. Big breaker, cut a cold red. Figure four, hot times ahead. Since 2014, it's on. It's a 10 count, but stand up strong. Hey kid, no DQ, strong style. Chop, this is how it do. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event. Tom Clark's main event.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here with you on a Friday. How's my hair? Am I good? Do I look good? How's my color? You ever get tired of me doing that? I feel like I do it every week. Smash the like button, kids, if you will. Thanks for joining me here today. It is Friday, June 21st. Let's get the ticker ticking. You are tuned in to episode number 336 of this here little podcast. Going strong for 10 years. Celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. We started this little sucker back in 2014. If you are watching the video version live with me here today, thank you. I appreciate it. Please share the link on your socials. Smash the like button for me while you're here, kids. It doesn't take much effort on your part, and it puts no money in my pocket, but I love seeing that little heart on the screen pop up. So if you will, smash the like button for me. It would mean loads to me. And while you're at it, if you are listening after the fact on the audio platforms, thanks for checking us out. And if you're not watching the video version here on the Facebook, are you missing out? Yes, we tend to change what day we go live. I always try to announce it at least a few days out. When I know, you know, okay? And I'll run promos and put them all over socials and wherever I can, including boinkstudios.com. That's right, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. Please go check it out. I update the website pretty much on a daily basis. All the latest podcast episodes are there. Links to my co-hosts for all three shows, Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's Six and Podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. So if you will, go bookmark boinkstudios.com. We're streaming live there right now, and we're also on the YouTube streaming live as we speak. We're all over the place, kids. I got to get that green screen back in this office and get it behind me because my head is like digitized. Right? We'll get it. We'll get it. Let's say some hellos before we get started here today and dive into the show. We got lots to talk about, so I hope you're in the mood to talk some wrestling. That's what we're going to do here today. I know Sandy in Germany was here first of the show today. Guten Tag, Sandy. Good to see you, my friend. Eric Jackson back in the house. Sandy, I'm glad we could. I'm glad you could be here for us. Sugar Shane, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Robbie, good to see you, dude. Awesome, good to see you. Glad you tuned in. Ray All Day's here with us, kids. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. So yeah, everyone's mentioning Joe Henry. Boy, did he make an impact. Pun intended. Recently, not only in TNA, but the NXT show, they went nuts. And deservedly so. Joe is doing what the formerly known Zack Ryder did back in the day, Matt Cardona. He is carving his own path. He's blazing his own path. It's what Becky Lynch did when they wouldn't do anything with her. I was going to say Brian Danielson, but he didn't have to do anything. The crowd just wanted him. Right. But, you know, if you're not getting what you want, make some noise and get it, which is easier said than done. Trust me, I'm aware of this. However, in that company, oftentimes it'll work in any company, really. So good. I mean, good on Joe. Great to see it. He's a good worker too, man. He really is. Brino, good to see you, my friend. We're going to have Brino on the show. Brino told me that I was bringing him out of podcast retirement, but I know he did the Peaches and Powerbomb show. You get the flying finger of doom. I should call it the flying finger of fate. Elsewise, it'll be misconstrued with a Kevin Nash finger poke of doom. So this is the flying finger of fate. I like that. Sandy knows. Do you like the hair? Yeah, I had to get it taken care of, man. The beard was all consuming. Was all consuming. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I look better, right? I mean, I always look good, let's be honest, but I look better. I got myself a bracelet for Father's Day, a new bracelet. See that one? I dig that. My bracelet and my ring game's on point, kids. What are you going to do? Couple more hellos. Matt Riffle, is that right? Let's see. Talking about Roman Reigns. Well, we'll see. We'll see, my friend. All right, kids, smash the like button while you're here, if you will, please. And do me a favor, if you're in a position where you can share the feed or share the show on your feed, I would be much in your debt. Thank you so much for doing that. I know oftentimes we're on the go. If you're like me, I'll catch shows live as I'm in the car. So it's hard for me to do this and drive and not get killed at the same time. So I understand if you can't do it. But if you're in a position to share the show, please and thank you. It would mean loads to me. And again, while you're here, kids, let's get those likes up. Please and thank you. I appreciate you very much. Let's get on with the headlines of the week. And I want everybody's input on everything I flash up on the screen here. I don't want anybody sitting back. If you're too scared to talk, don't be scared. Life's too short, and I don't bite. Not hard anyway, okay? Out the gate, let's talk about the Wyatt Sicks, formerly known as the Wyatt Sicks, as in SIX. I have no idea why they would change it. I mean, I don't care, but I guess you need 6 people for it. What is everyone's input on the Wyatt Sicks? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent to it? Is the best thing you've ever seen? Is it hokum? Is it nonsense? Do you hate it? Is it terrible? In other words,
Hot garbage.
I'll work it in where I can. Was that too forced? I want your honest opinion, kids. Sandy in Germany says, I got goosebumps and I cried. It was pretty touching. When you really think about what it meant to the family, and when I say the family, I don't mean the Wyatt family per se. I mean, well, I guess I do. But it's Wyndham Rotunda's family, what we're talking about here. And, Taylor Rotunda as Bo Dallas, as now Uncle Howdy. Hate the name. By the way, hate these characters' names. Some of the worst names I've ever heard in my life. I'm not a fan. Hate it. Think it's horrible. It doesn't matter what I think. They're going to do what they're going to do. No one called and got my opinion. And it's fine. I don't care. But it's, let's see, we've got, of course, we've got Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy with Eric Rowan, who's Ramblin' Rabbit, Dexter Loomis, Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross as Sister Abigail. I mean, look, here's what I will tell you. I loved it. And I thought it was really cool. And, by the way, just to clarify, Sister Abigail or Abby the Witch, whatever they're going to call her, Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard, and Huskus the Pig Boy. Look, I'm on the record. I will say this publicly because I'm going to be honest with the audience. I did not care for the Firefly Funhouse. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. I've always been a fan of Bray. When Bray Wyatt first cut that promo to announce that they were coming to Raw, remember they were out in the woods and stuff, and of course it was the late great Brody Lee, and it was Eric Redbeard there, right? So and they were in the woods and stuff, and he's like, we are walking upright. Remember that promo? It was their first shot out the gate as they were on the way to Monday Night Raw. When that promo hit on Raw, I shared that promo with people who weren't wrestling fans. And the first thing they said was, what is that? Is that a movie? Like, they were intrigued. Those guys had something. You all know that. Bray Wyatt absolutely had something. He did. I'm telling you, he did. Y'all know that, right? I loved Bray. I loved the gimmick. I did not like the Firefly Funhouse. It wasn't for me. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the puppets. I thought it was in my ability to suspend my disbelief, and I know that it's all scripted. I get it. I hate that word, by the way. It's all set up, predetermined, better. Yeah. In my knowledge of that ahead of time, I wasn't a fan of it. It's just me. It's okay if you disagree. but I've always been a fan of Bray. I don't like the characters. The masks are fine. Hate the names. Are we going to expect ring announcers to say, in tonight, facing Chad Gable, it's Ramblin' Rabbit? Whatever. What are we doing? Having said that, I loved what I saw because, it's Bray's family, man. Wyndham Rotunda. It's Wyndham's family. And awesome. I couldn't be happier for that family. Mike Rotunda, I think, had tweeted that he was so proud. I can't imagine how emotional it was. I'm sure they were all in tears when it was over. Good for them. Now, having said all of that, are they going to do something with this? Is it going to go somewhere? Is this just going to fizzle out? Are we not? We'll see. I will reserve judgment on what the future holds for these folks in the squared circle. I will reserve judgment because I don't know yet. Is that fair? However, I thought the moment was great. Ray says, I'm indifferent until I see more, but love the pop they got for sure. For sure. Jeffrey, what's up? Says if they do not promote it or do anything worthwhile, then it could quickly turn into hot garbage. Where was Alexa Bliss? I will tell you that I don't know and look, this is not to disrespect Bray in any way. I don't think Alexa ever needed Bray. And I don't know that Bray ever needed Alexa. Does that mean that she can't be a part of this? Of course not. Does it mean that she can't come back in some kind of weird character? Of course not. Did I have my fill of it when they were together toward the end? Yeah, I did. But that's me talking. Some folks loved it, and that's fine. I just wasn't here for it. I like her. But does she need it? That would be my question back to you guys. Does she need that? Does she need that? I don't know if I'll say rub. But did she get a rub from the Wyatt Sicks? I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? Shane says, compare the Wyatt Sicks to Unbroken Matt Hardy segment last week on TNA with the system. That's fair. Jess says, Firefall Funhouse was an attempt to make Bray Wyatt lovable, but it was a hot garbage. Look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I wasn't a fan of it either. A lot of people loved it. And when I did the show with the big return show with all the guys a few weeks ago, they were astonished that I didn't like it. Everybody's like, oh, blasphemy. I just wasn't a fan. I like him. I've always liked Bray, but I wasn't here for it. I didn't care about it. And then, what we got later with the Fiend was the Fiend. And I'm like, bah. Right. But what do you guys think? I'm always curious to hear what you guys think. It doesn't really, I appreciate everyone asking my opinion. It is my show. Right. But it matters to me what you guys say. Rob says, I love the concept. Bo Dallas is doing tribute to his brother. Has potential to continue what Bray started and explore new territory. Agreed. As long as they don't do the Funhouse angle, it could be something to get fans back to WWE. I don't think they have a problem with that, Rob. The ratings are holding up for that company, aren't they? Aren't they still doing great numbers over there? I don't know if they need to worry about getting people back. I think they're fine. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. You guys know I used to be really, really into giving ratings here on the show and talking about numbers and all that stuff. And I haven't done it in a long time because I just kind of got out of the habit of it, for one thing, right? And for number two, I don't know if I really feel the need to do it anymore. I think a lot of people go a little bit too much on the ratings side of it. I don't know how much I really lose sleep over it anymore, to be honest with you. It says, I agree with everything you said about Alexa, and I just thought she'd make her return now. Maybe Alexa will start a story with this rep. Maybe. But, we're all going to do this weird thing where we act like we don't know it's Nikki Cross. Isn't that funny how we're all going to do that? We're all going to pretend that's not Dexter Lumis under there. It's fine. It's fine. Again, this is WWE. They live in their own little hemisphere, and you guys know that. I mean, if you put, I don't know, if you put any of the girls in AEW under a mask and started passing her off as a character, that crowd would probably call you on it. Even if they're playing along, the crowd would go, yeah, I know who that is. So will there come a point in time when the announcers, I don't know if it'll happen right now, Well, will the announcers start calling them out and saying things over commentary like, well, guys, that's Nikki Cross. We don't know what's happened to her. It appears these folks are fractured. They're under the spell of this Uncle Howdy or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to want to go that far with it. Have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I'm here for it. And I wanted to dedicate a lot of time to this opening segment here today on the show because, there's been a lot of talk about factions in pro wrestling and anti-factions and stuff. I'm very much pro-faction. I love the idea of a good faction. My opinion is different over the years, right? But I love the idea of a faction. It gives 2+ people something to do, puts them on TV, gets them promo time, gets them in matches, right? Puts them part of the story, the overall storyline. Where on other days, those folks be sitting in the locker room with nothing to do. Now, of course, that varies by company. I totally get it. So it doesn't always work for everybody. Of course, it doesn't. Not every faction is a success. We all know this too. But again, I'm a pro-faction guy when it's done properly. Of course, I'm not pro-faction for the sake of it. I love the idea of it. When it's handled properly, it's awesome. We shall see if the Wyatt Sicks are handled properly. We will find out. We'll all find out together, I suppose. Sam says, I love it if they wrestle without the costumes and old gimmicks. I don't see that. Man, anything can happen, Sam, right? But like right now, I just don't know. I think that the gimmick is, the show is the gimmick right now, Just it'd be kind of hard when the Wyatt Sicks took a group picture at the restaurants later that night together out of costume. Oh, did I miss that? Wow. Are you surprised though? Pardon the sound of ice. I put my Fiji water in the freezer. Tom Clark's main event brought to you by Fiji water. They're not. I'm kidding. Everybody relax. Yeah. That'd be cool though. Hey, Fiji water, if you're listening, I could use some sponsors. I'll hook you up. Send me a case. I'll plug your product on the air. I had no shame. I've been wanting to sell out for years. It's my goal in life. You can have me at a price. Shane says the Wyatt Sicks to me is the new version of Kevin Sullivan and his followers. I would say it's a progression. I'd say it's a progression. Jump in, Jeff Sharma in the crowd. Jeff, you didn't miss much. Well, you missed some, but we just spent the first segment talking here about the Wyatt Sicks and our ideas of where it could be and what they'll do. And, are we looking at folks that are going to be in title contention? I have no idea. I don't know how I feel about that. Again, it's weird to me. Tonight, challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. Mercy the Buzzard. Come on out here, Mercy. I don't know. You think if Uncle Howdy wins a belt, they'll put the words Uncle Howdy on a nameplate, pop it on there? It's okay. I'm not teasing too much. Again, if it's handled correctly, it'll be fine. And I'm happy for these guys. I'm especially happy for Bo. Not Bo's fault the names are weird. It is what it is. I don't hate. No one comes to my show looking for someone yelling and screaming about stuff they hate. You guys know that's not what I do. Okay? It's not my thing. Sandy hopes no supernatural things will happen. Well, Sandy, you can hope in one hand and crap in the other and see which one gets filled up first. And I don't know if that's a saying in Germany, but brother, it is here. I'm just saying, instead of you, they can't help themselves. They can't remember that. Well, they had where'd all the fog come from the other night? It's a fog machine. What are we supposed to think? Things were on fire? They're already doing supernatural stuff, man. The lights and everything. Yeah, they're already doing it. They're already doing it. So, yeah. I wanted to move on and talk about some other things here today, and then we'll open up the floor here at the end of the show like we always do. We're going to bounce back and forth here between AEW, New Japan, and WWE, so everybody be patient. Again, if you're just popping in, Tom Clark's main event live on the air here today. Tom Clark, your host. Smash the like button here while you're here, kids, if you will, please, and thank you. It's much appreciated. Check us out on boinkstudios.com, BOINK, boinkstudios.com. This is episode number 336, and I'm choked up. I'm choked up. I'm all choked up. All right. Swerve and Ospreay took a bit of a turn on Dynamite. Yeah, a bit of a turn. Everything was peachy. I got respect for you. No, bruv. I got respect for you. Well, since we all got respect for each other, how's that kid of yours doing? Out of nowhere, right? How's that? Hey, when you get home, tell that girl and that kid, I sort of said, hey, look, of the two of these guys, the guy to get the heat is absolutely Swerve Strickland. The guy that done broke into Hangman's house and like stalked his baby's crib and stuff. Swerve did that. Y'all remember that? Because I do, right? They swept it under the rug. Swerve absolutely take the heat in this match. And he's like, oh, by the way, I'll make it personal. You tell that kid of yours and that, I'm paraphrasing. You tell that kid of yours and that pretty little girl you got, that little wife of yours, Swerve Daddy says, hey, that's awesome. I'm so here for that. And the crowd went, oh, like collectively, right? Oh, right. It took a turn. We were going along, and all of a sudden, hard left. Right? Bam! Hard left. Hey, man, look, this is heel versus heel doesn't work any more than face versus face works. Someone's got to take the heat. Remember how we've been ranting lately about tweeners don't work? Someone has to take the heat. So we're going to have the heat in that match, buddy. I'm going to tell you right now, heat magnet. He'll go there in that match where Ospreay won't. So, anyway, who's got thoughts on this little feud? And who do you believe is coming out on top? Ray says, don't like how they're trying to heel out Swerve just as he was getting over as a face. And this Ospreay push is crazy. I love him, but let's slow down. I could see Hangman Page making Swerve lose. That makes sense. Or Don Callis does something. All right, so I don't think you're seeing a Swerve Strickland heel turn. I think you're seeing the champ playing mind games, and that's how it's going to be chalked up to, is the champ is playing mind games. Because, again, of the two of them, the champ is the one that would go there, not Ospreay. Ospreay as a heel could, but he's not. Because Ospreay is the hottest talent to have right now, by the way. You know that. And, like, yeah, that's – I just don't believe Strickland's turning heel. I think that he is just getting some heat for this match. Because as much as we love to see great wrestling matches in that company, and period, I don't know if I respect you, brother. Well, I respect you more, bruv. I don't know how many tickets that'll sell, right? But you throw in a little salt in there, you spice it up with some cayenne, and bam, now you got yourself some tickets going out the door. That's my view. That's what I think. I think the interest level raises exponentially the saucier this thing gets. And you guys know Swerve can get real saucy. Shane says, I liked Ospreay's shot at Swerve about Hit Row. That was nice. That was really, really good. Really good. Jess says 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, they had to get the 100%. 100%. You couldn't be more right about that, Jeffrey. More right about it. Yeah. So, Jeffrey also says we need more absolute heels rather than having all these wrestlers on the fence. I agree. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm a fan of this. I love both these guys. The true test is going to be how they're going to handle Will. Because if Will does not win the title at Forbidden Door, then we're looking at, All In the fall in Wembley Stadium. That's what we're looking at, right? Think about it. He's the hottest guy you have. How are you going to pour cold water on him? A bucket full of cold water. And the question is, if you pour cold water on him and douse this fire and don't give him the title this year, then what happens? You're going to heat him back up again? Can you? And the fans buy it? I don't know. It's a good question. But again, I'll tell you the same thing that we've been saying for months here on, well, not on this show, but we've been saying since I got back because I haven't been here in a while. Hi. I'll tell you the same thing we've been saying here on the show. All right. If you don't want him to be world champion, if that's not the plan, don't get him near the champ. But obviously the plan was to get him near the champ. I think you could have kept Ospreay away from Swerve and teased the ever-loving life out of it for months on end. You knew MJF was coming back. MJF was going to be slaughtered for a title push at some point. You know it will be. You could have held off on this. But they chose not to. It's their company to do what they want. I'm just telling you, like, if there's a lot of back and forth between how do we do this, can we do it, don't get him near the champ. Too late now. He's already going to share the ring with him. Already going to share the ring with him. Ray's asking about Forbidden Door. Brother, I'd love to go, but I don't think it's happening. I think it's happening. Jeff says they're going to have a problem making both wrestlers strong because you don't want either wrestler. I think they'll be fine. I think there's a way to do this where I think Dawn Callis is going to, someone said it, screw Ospreay out of this. I firmly believe that. Maybe I'll be wrong. It's not a prediction. I just believe that would allow both guys to save face. And it doesn't turn Swerve heel. It doesn't turn Ospreay heel. It keeps everybody safe and protects them, in my opinion. And then you get Ospreay busy with Don and his guys for a while, feuding with them. And then we see what happens after that's done. Because Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher is something I want to see again. So I'm a sucker for good matches. I'm a big sucker for great matches. So there you go. By the way, kids, I'm also a big sucker for podcasting. If you guys know me, you know I do the main event, but I also do a show called Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast with Jay Left and Joe Higgins. Season 3 is coming soon. I promise you we're going to get back on track. I've been saying that. We're doing all we can to get back on track for you folks. But I also want to tell you about another show of mine. This show's been going for 4 years, since 2020. This is Tom Clark's 6M podcast. And since we're at the bottom of the hour, take a look at this real quick, if you will. And let me get where I need to be. Take a look at this, and we'll be right back. Check this out. Tom Clark's 6M podcast focuses on movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. Join us for new episodes every week. Available on boinkstudios.com and wherever you get your podcasts. There you go, kids. Tom Clark's 6M podcast. If you will, go check it out. It means loads to me. I think you'll appreciate it. We put out Speaker Box this past Tuesday. It's the first side of the massive double album from Outkast, released in 2003. This week, coming up on Tuesday, we're putting out The Love Below. So hope you love it. Phil Lindsay and I did these. We've been doing a lot of them since 2020. 4 years celebrating this year. Season 5, technically, but 4 years as a podcast. So if we will check it out, we'd much appreciate it. Speaking of AEW, and let's talk a little bit about Forbidden Door. This is not going to be the prediction show. They're still filling this card up. I expect more than matches than what we have. I think there may be at least one more added next week. We shall see. Right now, we've got, as we just mentioned, Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana defending the AEW World Championship against Will Ospreay. We have the ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship with Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, and Dante Martin, and Leo Rush, and somebody else who was to be decided, to be announced. So we'll see. That should be a great match. Mercedes Moné defending the AWTBS Championship against Stephanie Valkyrie, who is also the NJPW Strong Women's Champion. This will be winner take all. I think we can all safely agree. More than likely, Mercedes is winning this match and will come out as a double champ. Thomas Tony Storm is defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Mina Shirakawa. Mariah May will be at ringside in support of both ladies. We'll see what happens there. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy in a singles match. John Moxley defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito. I believe Naito would probably win the belt back here. Could be wrong. We'll see. MJF versus Hishiro. I always pronounce this guy's name incorrectly in the singles match. It's going to be good. Trust me. And did you guys see Dawn Callis and Roosh? Does Roosh really need Dawn Callis's family? I don't know, dude. And then Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi, men's Owen Cup tournament, Owen Hart Cup tournament, first round match. I'll be here for that match. In other words, I can't wait to see it. I love me some Shingo. Shingo Takagi is the best of all time. I'm kidding. He's not the best of all time, but I love him. Rob says, here's a side talk about AEW Mercedes. Is she a legit character or a carbon copy ripoff of Carmella from WWE? Me, I'm in that. No, 100% disagree with you, my friend. No chance. Mercedes is her. She's got her own style. I'm telling you. I do not see an ounce of Carmella in her. Maybe you see something I don't. I don't see an ounce of Carmella in this at all. And look, this is not a statement on you, Robbie, so don't take this to heart. This is not directed at you in the slightest. But I will tell you that some of the other comments I've seen from folks since she left that company are made because she left that company. Not you, Rob. I get it. But like a lot of when people complain about talents, it's because they leave that company. It's sad, but that's the nature of this thing. Some folks are just diehard WWE and they just don't watch anything else. So when you leave, you're dead to them. I've told the story before. I used to really follow the NBA like religiously. And years ago, I was following the NBA and I was talking to a friend of mine who loved college ball, hated the NBA with a passion and loved college ball. I said, so let me get this straight. I said, if your favorite college player that you supported for 4 years or 3, whatever the number is, if he goes pro at the end of the season, you won't support the player? Nope. Sure won't. All right, man. Like, you can watch what you want. I don't care. I just find it odd. You know what I mean? I just find it odd. But to answer your question, in my opinion, no, I don't see a comparison. I think Mercedes is killing it. And I think that when people criticize her, again, this is for whoever, it doesn't matter. But like, watch her in the ring. Do you guys see how much better she's gotten since she was Sasha Banks? I believe she's improved. Honestly, I thought she was good WWE. I think her game has improved by leaps and bounds since she left the company. It's my opinion. That's how I feel. Jeffrey says Mariah May turns on Toni Storm during the match or after the match. I tend to disagree with you. Jeff says, I'm sorry to agree with you. Did I say agree? I'm reading things and talking at the same time. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. That's what I meant to say if I didn't say it. Jubba Jeff says, I only watch WWE due to time, but if I see a AEW headline interests me, I read about it. Fair enough. You should give it a chance, man, if you don't watch it at all. You should give it at least one of the shows a chance. Give one of the pay-per-views a chance if nothing else. So, yeah, we're going to have next week, we should have a prediction show here on the main event for Forbidden Door. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I have that tentatively planned. The show itself is taking place a week from Sunday. So we should be back on the air live a week from today. Everybody stay tuned for that. She. Catch that. Let's talk a little bit about what happened last week at Clash at the Castle. If you guys know what happened, not a lot going on. Damian Priest retained the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre, thanks to a guy named CM Punk. And ridiculous outcome. The guy traveled all the way to Scotland to screw this guy. It's pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is meant to be silly. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Weird, but okay. Like, take it for what it is. I imagine when they finally lay hands on each other, it's going to be big, which I'm assuming is the point of all this, right? And now Drew has supposedly quit. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. We'll see where that goes. Bayley retained the WWE Women's Championship against Piper Niven, who is now Piper Niven again. Thank goodness. Sami Zayn defeated Chad Gable to retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The Unholy Union, Alba Fire, horrible name, and is it Isla Dawn? Horrible name again. Defeated Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Triple threat tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Good for them. Hate the names. Doesn't mean I hate the ladies. Everybody calm down. And of course, Cody Rhodes is still your undisputed WWE champion, defeating the phenomenal AJ Styles. There is your Clash at the Castle. Did you guys watch the show? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? There's a lot of talk about the ropes being loose. And you know what kills me? That was an easy fix. If you guys know how pro wrestling rings work, it's an easy fix. The ring crew, during a moment when they're running a promo up on the screen and they cut from the ring to show you the promo, 4 ring guys could have jumped up and tightened the rope. It's not a big deal. Which tells me, since it wasn't done, something was up. That's my take. Seeing as how it wasn't, seeing as how the rope wasn't tightened, something was up. There must have been something. And let me tell you something, brother. When the ropes aren't tightened, that's dangerous, dangerous. There's a reason. If you watch the way the guys run the ropes, if you're trained correctly, if Brino's still around, he'll tell you this. If you're trained correctly, then you know that when you hit the top rope, you don't turn and hit it with your back. You know why? You could fall over the top if the ring snaps. So that's why when you run the ropes, you grab the top rope with this hand and pull it in under your arm and then rappel off of it. You hold on to the rope. So if the rope snaps, you've got a hold on it. You don't kill yourself going over. Or hopefully you can maybe maintain your balance. That's why you grab the rope. There you go. There's your small lesson for today. No extra for that. You're welcome. Go with God. Enjoy that. So yeah, again, the reason, the fact that it wasn't fixed tells me something was up. We'll see. Jared says, yes, watched the show and enjoyed it. The referees could have, yeah. We were just talking about that. Shane says, I'd like to see Drew Mack show up on TNA with a live mic and just go off on CM Punk WWE. Ooh. You know what? I think I'd be here for that. Joe Hinder was on a billboard at the arena, says Sandy. Nice. Sandy, were you there in person? Did you travel to go see it? This is where my geography, because I know Sandy's in Germany, the show is in Scotland. This is where my geography fails me. I don't know how close you are to the country of Scotland. Isn't that terrible? Don't blame me. Blame the American education system. Plus, I've been out of school for a long time. Ray says Punk looking like heel is weird. Drew looking like a face, and poor Priest left in the cold. Yeah, I get it. But you can't feel too bad for Priest. Priest is, world champion, man. So yeah, again, we'll see what happens. The fallout from this with Punk and McIntyre. Again, when they touch, it's going to be more than likely pretty hot. Speaking of pretty hot, has anyone noticed how Mark Briscoe is on fire right now? Come on, baby. Mark, are you kidding me? 2 weeks worth, 2 shows worth of great promos. Like, it's almost as though someone just turned on the camera and told Mark, talk. Fire him up, Mark. Come on, baby. And he did it. You know why? Because Mark Briscoe's awesome. Awesome. And for anyone who didn't understand how good Mark Briscoe is, not just in the ring, but on the mic, welcome to the conversation. It's okay that you didn't know, but welcome to the era of the enlightened. Mark Briscoe is really awesome and fun. I find me one person in that audience that doesn't like Mark Briscoe, and I'll be glad to show him the door. Mark Briscoe is a national treasure. I don't care what anybody says. And look, this is before we lost his brother. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Okay. This is before the passing of Jay. Mark was a national treasure then. We just didn't know how much we loved him till now. Well, a lot of you didn't. I've always loved the guy. He's freaking great. He's phenomenal. Anyone doesn't like Mark Briscoe, I got nothing to say to you. You and I cannot be friends. You can still feel free to watch my show, but I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Ray says Mark is awesome. Him telling Perry to go away was hysterical. Yeah. That was really nice. He's great. Jeffrey says, love me some Mark Briscoe and Briscoe. Yeah. Them boys. David Griffiths, David Down Under. About couldn't get that out. All's well with me, my friend. Hope you and yours are doing well. Also, everybody, please smash the like button. We are 3/4 of the way through the show now, just about. And I'll remind you again, you're watching and listening to episode number 336 of Tom Clark's Main Event. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Thanks for subscribing and download. Please follow us on the YouTube. If everyone here go to YouTube right now and follow Boink Studios, B-O-I-N-K, Boink Studios, that, my friends, would mean loads to me. It'd make me feel all sorts of warm and fuzzy. And just to do you one better, I would be glad to share the link in the feed. That way, everybody has it. But if you will go now and follow us on the YouTube, that would be awesome. And you'll find all the videos there. Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's Six and Podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted Lasso Podcast, video and audio. Please, please, and thank you. Again, it would mean loads to me. So thanks, awesome. Thanks much. By the way, did you hear about the recent trademark filing for Caesar Sikoa? Well, they're taking this new tribal chief, head of the table thing all the way to the finish line, aren't they, with this Caesar Sikoa? Oh, there's going to be some Julius Caesar jokes happening when Roman comes back, yeah? I mean, I'm telling you, who killed Caesar? A handful of senators, right? And I think they're going to, this bloodline thing is going to last for 10 years, man. It's freaking nuts. They've gotten more traction out of this than I could have imagined. I knew it was going to last for a while. I had no idea it was going to stretch this long. With Tama and Tonga there, dude, they're crushing it, and good on them. I hope they're having a blast, and it's cool. Paul Heyman crying because the fans are chanting Roman. We want Roman. It's the dumbest thing, but he's awesome, so it works. And he's like, I love Roman so much. Well, okay, man. It's awesome, though. I'm here for it, so I'm happy to see it. But get ready, kids. Caesar Sikoa is coming soon. So if you didn't hear it here, if you didn't hear it, you heard it here. Sandy's not here for it. Sandy says Caesar Sikoa is
hot garbage.
Why do you think that, man? Yeah, I would say that rumor is nothing, Shane. The rumor about Shane McMahon joining AEW. Tony Khan recently commented, actually, that he's never met or spoken to Shane McMahon. Now, do I believe that? Wrestling promoters are going to lie to you because that's their job. They always lie to you. Well, they work you. How about that? Does that make you feel better? They work you. But supposedly, Tony Khan has never met or talked to Shane McMahon. So there you go. We'll see. The quote was given directly to Meltzer, by the way. He said, quote, I've never met him or talked to him in my life. So there you go. I don't know, kids. Look, we've said before about this business that anything can happen. I don't know. We shall see. But in the meantime, hang in there. Watch as it unfolds. If there's a story to be had, we'll find out in due time, I'm sure. Has anyone checked out the G1 Climax tournament coming your way? The blocks have been revealed. By the way, Shota Umino is hurt, a fractured hip. He's released the x-rays. He says he's going to be back in time, and it kicks off in July. I don't know if he will or not, but we shall see. The A block right now consists of Evil, Jake Lee coming in. That's a change, yeah. Gabe Kidd, Zack Sabre Jr., The Great Okan, Sanada, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and of course Shota Umino to you. And there is your A block for the G1 Climax tournament. I'm anxious to see this, actually. Big time anxious. The B block, El Phantasmo, Hiroki Goto, Yota Tsuji, Yuya Uemura, Jeff Cobb, Hinare, David Finlay, Ren Narita, and Konosuke Takeshita in the B block. No Mox, no Danielson. So that's something to note. No Tanahashi, of course. Tana's busy. He's a busy guy, still working, but he's busy running that company. This is going to be a fun tournament. Don't know who's going to win. I picked Zack Sabre Jr. I think I picked him last year again. I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see. I'd love to see Yoda win it. I love me some Yota Tsuji, but we shall see. Is anyone going to check out the G1? It's like one of my favorite times of the year is a G1 Climax tournament, man. I'm not kidding you. It really, truly is. I thoroughly enjoy it. Rianne Milligan, I'm doing fine. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Everybody welcome Brianne to the chat, to the show. Brianne, I know you've watched before. I appreciate you very much. So yeah, we'll see. Ray says Sabre Jr. will win. He's a stud. Zack Sabre Jr. is awesome. He's all that in a bag of chips. And anyone who's seen him work, yeah, well, crazy. Daniel's supposed to retire at All In. Have you heard? Is that official? Because I've not heard that. We'll see. I don't know. If that's the case, that means he's challenging for the World Championship. I think he could challenge for IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, but I don't know if he will or not. I think either one would make sense. One more little news item to talk about before we get out of here today. Matt Hardy recently on the Busted Open podcast this past Wednesday was talking about the run that the Hardy Boys had in TNA and talked about he feels like now they're more over than they ever have been. That at WrestleCon in Philadelphia, they signed a lot of autographs. A lot of people were there to see them. Fans coming up to him crying like it's 2000 all the time. He said, but, quote, I feel like AEW is more focused on having 5-star matches as opposed to having a segment that is hugely impactful and makes a moment, end quote. He says in the beginning in that company, we started off very well. Jeff messed up and he made a mistake. He tried to repent for that. He did everything he went and got right. And one thing I can say about Jeff, I'm very happy at the place he's at in his life. He's practically perfect as a human being. He hasn't been like this in well over 20 years. He says that AEW never gave him an opportunity to capitalize on the popularity of Jeff's arrest. He said Jeff was in a good place. I just don't know why we never got that other opportunity to show what we can do and capitalize on the opportunity that we have. We would have loved to have had that run in AEW, but lo and behold, that didn't happen. He then went on to put over the company as well as TNA. He said AEW is a great organization. Pro Wrestling World needs it, but it wasn't the place for me and Jeff at this certain time because they are just in a different mindset. End quote. Look, don't take this out of context. He didn't bag on the company. He didn't trash Tony Khan. He didn't say anything out of hand. He wasn't disrespectful. One thing Matt Hardy is a professional and he's a businessman. And one thing businessmen will tell you, never bite the hand that feeds and don't burn any bridges. You're crazy if you do. I don't care if you had the worst experience. I had an interview yesterday and, opportunities present themselves. I didn't take them. You want to know why? Because there's no sense in being like that. There's no point in it. You know why? Because life's too short and you got to worry about moving forward. Moving backward in time, you can't do it to my knowledge. If there's a time machine, I sure don't have my hands on one. Don't know if you guys do. All we can do is move forward. Always forward always. That's all we can do. No sense in looking back. So again, Matt's a business guy. He understands that. So again, kids, don't take anything he said out of context. It is what it is. Just wanted to share that with you in the interest of being transparent and open. All right, kids, the floor is wide open. 10 minutes left on this here little program. This has been a nice tight hour, hasn't it? It's been a good 50 minutes. This thing has flown by like a bird. Like Mercy the Buzzard. Hate that name. I can't get over it. That was it. Wowie, yowie, wowie. Oh, terrible. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Wyndham Rotunda. Yeah. But yeah, whatever you kids got, let's have it. Let's have you. Let's be having you. If Jay and Joe were here, they could back me up. That's a British phrase. Let's be having you. Ray says Public Enemy or Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Public Enemy. Part 2 EPMD or Crisscross EPMD. And if Adam Cole, I never could get into Crisscross. I just couldn't do it. I two little kids. It's fine. I just couldn't get into them. If Adam Cole invited you and your family to a carnival with a ton of rides and games, and so you could bring a friend, can I come? Yes, you can ride all the rides because I don't do rides. And later invited you to eat grilled salmon and veggies and coffee plus a slice of pecan pie. Could I join as well? Also, when can I co-host? Let's work on the co-hosting thing. We'll figure something out. And also, by the way, Ray, if you're still in the Boink Studios Discord, I threw it in there a few days ago and tagged everybody and said, anyone wants to join on as a co-host, you're welcome to. Uh-oh. Ray didn't raise his hand. It's okay. By the way, kids, we do have a Discord, boinkstudios.com. I'm sorry, Boink Studios Discord. Guess what? I'll drop that in the chat if any of you guys do Discord. If you guys do that kind of thing, if you enjoy it, it's been latent for a while now. However, I've been doing what I can to get it back up and running again, trying to be there a little bit more than I have been in a while. So, if you're into that sort of thing, again, I will share the link here with you. And if you want to join us on the Discord, please and thank you. Anything you want to say in there, just keep it clean. Be respectful of everybody, if you will. And there, you'll see when you join, there's rules in place as you come in. Please read. If you don't have a Discord account, it's real easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Create yourself a server or a user handle. You're good. Jump in with us. Hang out. Anytime you want to ask questions, anything like that, you can. Ray says, you like JJ Redick as a coach? Ray, I am now today, yesterday, and tomorrow anti-Duke. That's how my house rolls. I got nothing to say about JJ Redick. In my mind, dude's not even there. So I didn't like him when he played for Duke. I'm Carolina through and through. All right. So no, I don't have a whole lot of great things to say about JJ Redick. Never met the man. He may be a prince among men, perhaps. But as the player and the personality and the character, never cared for him. Never cared for him. Never cared for him. Well, truly, WWE or not, thoughts on his plans? I do not believe he's leaving. However, anything is possible. Sugar Shane says, I love the unbroken character of Matt Hardy. The Hardy compound needs more segments on TNA, and I think they will get it. Jess says, how do we go from movie Howdy to wrestling and ring? Also, I read somewhere Strowman was one that was taken out. Why did only Gable get removed from him, Money in the Bank qualifier? I don't know, unless it has something to do with maybe he's injured for real. I don't know, unless they're trying to play it up. I read that as well, but I'm not sure where they're going with it. Wasn't Hunter back there as well took out? Why would you lay out the guy running the show? Isn't that weird? Come on, man. Come on. Never say never, Jeffrey. Drew could leave. Drew could leave. He was Drew Galloway, you know. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Kids, how many of you have followed us on YouTube? How many of you have followed us on the YouTube? If you have not, I will drop it here in the chat one more time. Please go to the YouTube and give us a follow. Boink Studios there on the YouTube. You can't miss us. I try to make the channel look good, put some cool stuff on there. Every audio episode you could ever hope to imagine. And video is there as well. Playlist after playlist after playlist. YouTube Shorts, a couple of shows maybe you've never heard of before. They're there as well. We're going to have more fresh content coming in the future. So please and thank you. Go check us out. Sandy in Germany, thank you for watching, my friend. Good night to you. Let's see. Jeff says he already follows. I appreciate you, my friend. So yeah, what else you guys got? Anything else you got for me? What's something good you watched on TV in the past week or so? I started getting into Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal? I forget what app it's on. It's not bad. I think we watched like the first 3 episodes. I really like that guy a lot. I think it's Presumed Innocent. Not a bad little show. We'll see where it goes. There tends to be like a twist at the end of each one, right? So I'm here for it. Who's watching the new Star Wars show? And by the way, I've not watched the latest episode of the Acolytes. Don't ruin it for me. I know it's got its fans. I know it's got a lot of haters, right? So anybody here have any opinions on that? Let me know. But yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. It's not the best thing I've ever watched, but certainly not the worst thing I've ever watched. For sure. So there you go. What's your thought at the end of Cody versus AJ at Clash? Thought was a bad. Yeah, I didn't like the ending too awful much. I wasn't really here for that. Who was the better athlete, Michael Jordan or Willie Mays? That's maybe a tough one. I had to say Jordan. even though it's two different sports and it's hard to compare the two, right? Even though Jordan tried his hand at baseball for a while. I mean, Jordan never lost when he was up to bat for a title, ever. That's why I don't like the LeBron talk. I just don't. I'm not here for it. I like the guy. He's accomplished a lot. You know, LeBron's lost championship games. Jordan never did. And I know that's an easy cop out, but I don't know if I've ever seen a player make everybody around him so much better than anybody else ever had, to the point that he could will a team to win a championship. That's an art, and that is a trait that is not born in everybody. I mean, I think you have to have that from a very young age, and you have to nurture it, and you have to work hard to, you know, attain greatness. And I think that he absolutely did that. Ray says Kobe better than LeBron, second to MJ. Everything's debatable. But I would say, I'd say you're probably dead on with that. In my opinion, I'd say you're probably dead on with that. Jeff says Michael Jordan never got a coach fired either. No, he didn't. And if you remember when they wanted to give Doug Collins the axe and replace him with Phil, he didn't want to do it. Remember? So yeah, to your point. Well, because Doug gave him the ball all the time, right? Ted Lasso is awesome. Any shows like that you can recommend? Like that? No, not that I'm watching. The Bear's really good. If you've not watched The Bear, The Bear's similar to Ted Lasso in as much as it's got a lot of heart. The characters are compelling. It's got a good story. I would say The Bear is probably my closest if we're talking about current shows right now. Just my opinion. So yeah, I mean, you know, again, man, it's all very subjective. You guys know how this works. And one person's opinion may not match the other person. Jerry says wild cards on Wednesday and CW and just got renewed for a second season. Wow, that's impressive. That's good. The Bear is on. Is The Bear on Apple? I can't remember. You have to look it up. I do not think The Bear's on Netflix. And I don't think it's Hulu. I think The Bear's on Apple. But don't quote me. I can't remember. We got all the streamers because when it comes to streamers, this is what I do. I'm Okada, baby. I just make it rain. If they come up with another streamer, I'll be doing that too. I got every one of them. I think. I don't know if one I don't have. You know why? All right. Call me the Rainmaker. When it comes to streamers, believe that. We're at the top of the hours, top of the hour, kids. I really want to watch Lawman Bass Reeves, Shane. I've really been wanting to watch that. I really want to watch it because I'm a fan of Westerns. My favorite Western of all time. It's a neck and neck for Tombstone and the Magnificent Seven, the original. I'm telling you, it's neck and neck. I love both movies. I've seen both movies 100 times. If I've seen them once, freaking great. Love me some. Never done the Tombstone or Magnificent Seven on the 6M. I am failing my audience, so I got to make that happen. Thank you, Jeff, for subscribing. Kids, be more like Jeff. I don't know why you're not getting notifications, Brandon. Check and make sure that I'm not blocked in some way or something. By the way, I've been running promos on all week. I think I started on Tuesday. I've been running promos all week on my page, and I share them on every page that I have. If you're not, by the way, kids, there's only a handful of you left. We're going to take it home. Follow Tom Clark's Main Event on Facebook. If you just follow my page, thank you. You're awesome. However, if you would, please follow Tom Clark's Main Event on the Facebook, because if you do, you'll definitely get notified there as well. Okay. And if you don't follow it, I will share it. And the reason I don't share it, I don't stream live here. on the Facebook, to be honest with you, is because, the more platforms you stream to, the more money you got to pay them, which is like the worst answer. It's like the worst answer, but it's the truth, man. So yeah, it sucks, I know, but that's why you'll see it sometimes on the main event, and other times it's shared after the fact, right? I know it's weird. Just, hang in there with me. But I appreciate you. Well, kids, I think that's just about going to do it for us here today. Again, folks, I appreciate you very much for being here. If you will, folks, remember to go follow, or I should say bookmark, boinkstudios.com, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. Follow us on the YouTube and join us in the Discord, man. If you're not there, come on in and hang out with us, dude. You'll love it, I promise. You won't hate it. You'll love it. Don't you want to do stuff you love and not hate? I'm here for you. Because I agree. I want to be happy, man. Don't you? Come hang out. Listen, thanks everybody for hanging out again. I do much appreciate it. Watch yourself some pro wrestling this weekend. Get ready for the G1 coming up. And look, everybody take care of yourselves. I appreciate you very much. Gear up for Forbidden Door coming next week. And be sure to join us. Remember, the latest episode of Tom Crow Season Podcast coming this Tuesday. We're covering Outcast, The Love Below. And Two Nations Under Ted Taylor's podcast is returning very soon. Thanks again, kids, for joining us here today. I appreciate you very much. We're going to get out of here. I'll see you next time. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you later, kids. Stay tuned. We'll be back. See you in about a week.